Hey, good morning, everyone. So, hope you guys are all healthy and safe out there and things are going well. We're into the fall. We've got lots of things going on. As we speak, we are preparing for our Denver road show. You guys might not see this till after that, but I'm filming this prior to. So, in preparation for the road show that we're going to do, I went down and got some more material because I want to have a bunch of boards that the people in Denver that come can start carving and play around, make some sawdust. So in that process, I went down to Home Depot. I normally go to Lowe's, but in this particular case, I went to Home Depot and I was looking at what they had. So, and I made some videos on this just recently about the little the shiplap blue pine, which I really like, but it's not that inexpensive and I've got to have quite a bit of material. So I decided against getting this for stuff that's going to be basically throwaway or all of that. What I decided to go with is a couple different kinds, and I want to get into that and kind of talk about that a little bit. I've done videos on this in the past. So one of those is Cedar, is these Cedar Pickets. This is a 2-foot board cut out of a Cedar Picket, a 6-foot Cedar Picket. And you guys have seen me do videos on that, but I haven't done one in a while, and I want to kind of update, and things kind of change and they move as far as price goes and different things. So I want to kind of give an updated version of videos that I've made in the past, maybe pass on some information that might be a little bit different than what I've done in the past as well, kind of just upgrade everything. So I'm going to put across the screen right now videos that I've made. I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different videos that I've made, but it's been several years since I've made many of these. So I'm going to put those across the screen. Go check those out. But this will be the latest as of October of 2021. So a couple different kinds of material that I got. One of them is, like I say, the Cedar fence pickets. And this traditionally is what I've been using, or what I have used for, gosh, probably 10 years for my small signs. 6 foot long, about 5 inches wide, about 5/8 of an inch thick. When I first started buying this 6-7 years ago, it was about 3/4 of an inch thick, but they just keep getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Every year they get thinner. And this is about $3.74 currently at my local Home Depot in Kingman, Arizona. So you have to be kind of careful when you go through this and the other kind that I'm going to show here in a minute. You got to be kind of careful and decide, what the knots are like. If you're going to work around them, if you're going to fill them if you want to, or if you're just going to, just sand them down and, use a Starbond in them and that's another thing that's kind of changed over the years. Other videos that I've done, I would just literally cut those knots out. I would cut in between those knots. Nowadays, since there's such great ways to fill those, I'm not near as picky as I used to be. It used to be like out of 30 or 40 boards, I might find 10 that were usable for me for signs. Now it's a lot higher than that because I don't mind the knots, because it's pretty simple to fill them. So anyway, so that's my primary choice of small signs. However, a close second to that, would be something that they just started carrying, which is Redwood pickets. These are Redwood fence pickets. And now don't be confused. These aren't the junk pine that they paint with a redwood stain. That's not what these are. These are honestly redwood. And the thing that I really like about these, they are 3/4 of an inch thick. So they're, almost twice as thick as the other ones, which I really, really like. The downside of these are about $5. So, $1.25 more per board, but you amortize that out based on what you can make out of this board. That's still pretty cheap. but I do like the thickness. Another thing that I find is these tend to be a little bit rougher. So you're going to have to sand a little bit more off of these in order to make them work for signs. Now, I would treat these just the same as I do the cedar. I will only sand off as much as I absolutely need to, no more. Of the surface of the board. Now this one has got a little bit of a cup to it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show that. Oh man, that's really close. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to use that. I'm filming this by myself, guys. Anyway, so this got a little bit of a cup to it. So it is shaped this way. This will be my surface. That will be my back. So I will just sand down this with my disc sander or my random orbital or my belt sander and get it down smooth enough that I can do my layout and get a good sharp line. The other thing about these is they tend to be, by and large, most of them are wetter, meaning they've got more moisture content than the cedar. Not always. Some of the cedar is super wet, but the redwood stuff seems to be a little bit wetter than the cedar stuff, which for me is no problem because I'm going to show you here in a few minutes how I set up and dry that. And again, that's kind of redundant to an old video that I did, but I still think it's valuable to go over that because some people may not have seen that. Man, my words are not working. Some people may not have seen the way I dry these things out. So, what else? I find that the redwood really does carve just as nice as the cedar in most cases. Every board's different, and you're going to find some boards that have a harder grain than other boards, but I find that the redwood, this redwood fencing actually carves really nice once you've got it dry. Now the dryness, and I'll get into that a little bit more, I think when we start drying them. But you want your moisture content 10, 12, 14%. Out here, it's so dry. Arizona's so dry where I'm at that I can get it down to 6%, 8%, and that's ideal. That's perfect for me. But even if it's 10 or 12, maybe 14, I wouldn't go over that if you guys are in a climate that doesn't allow you to get it down dry as 6 or 8%. You probably get by with 10, 12, maybe 14, depending on the board. And there's ways to dry it if you guys don't have a basement, if you don't have a way to climate control. You could build a little kiln, a little box, drying box, and I've done videos. I haven't made one myself. I don't need to, but some of our people have made boxes that literally they stack the wood in on stickers, and they put a little fan in there and a little heating element, and they use it like a small kiln. You can use an old refrigerator as a small kiln, same kind of thing. You need to have some warm air, and you need to have air movement. That's the big thing, is air movement. So I am going to set up, and we're going to come right back, and I'll show you how I set these things up to dry. So hang with us. We'll be right back. Okay, folks, so here is how I dry my boards. Now, I know those cinder blocks seem like probably overkill, but I'd rather have too much weight on there than not enough. Now, understand, this is just a sample. This is an example of the way I set my boards up. I don't set them up in my studio here. I just wanted our best filming lighting and everything is here. So I wanted to just set them up here, but this is not where they're permanently going to sit. They're going to sit outside somewhere, protected by the rain and the sun, but sitting outside where there'll be air movement all the time. So we always have a breeze blowing here. So that's what this is. If you guys, wherever you guys set these things up, just make sure that air can get to both sides of those boards. You see, even the bottom boards I've got setting up on stickers. That's what those little blocks are called stickers. And the thing that causes boards or material to warp or cup is when it's sitting flat and air and moisture can't leave the board evenly from one side to the next. or only gets to the top side, and if it's sitting on a bench or on the floor or something like that, that's generally what causes warping or cupping. So I'm going to come around to the other side of the camera now, and hopefully this will show up. But anyway, so I've only got part of my board sitting here. I'll set them up either on my back patio where air can get to it, but the rain can't get to it, or I actually have a trailer that's very open, that is kind of an old storage trailer, but it's open on both ends, and there's a lot of air movement that comes in and out of that trailer, and that's generally where I set these up to dry, and then I will just let them set and dry for, out here this time of year only takes a few days. Some of these are already ready to go, but what I'll do is I'll leave them all on stickers like this, even if they are dry, because if it grabs moisture out of the air, you don't want those things warping on you or cupping on you based on the moisture in the air. So I keep these boards just like this until I get ready to cut them and make signs out of them. So I'll have a stack. I've got, you know, probably 7 or 8 more boards there. I'll have a stack this high. This is just, I wanted to do this just for example, but I'll set those up out in my trailer. And I think I'm forgetting something, but it's not coming to mind right now. These boards are fairly flat, but no board that I get at this kind of price is perfectly flat. So I'll always be dealing with a cup or a warp of some kind. Nothing is dead flat, but they're good enough to make signs out of for sure. And once you get a finish on them all the way around, they should stay whatever shape they are. You know, when you start, they should stay that way once you get a finish on them and completely seal them up. Anyway, guys, that is it. I hope this is helpful. Again, you know, you can go back and reference those other videos that I put in earlier. I put across the screen. I'm here if I can answer any questions for you. Eric at makeawoodssign.com. If you need supplies, there is the website. And we sure appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. The sale that we had, the flash sale that we had on the base plates, you guys just absolutely blew us away. Thank you so much for all the support. And, you know, that's what kind of keeps us going. When people buy stuff, become premium members, and they you know, you guys buy our router bits, our base plates, that's what keeps us doing what we do, 3 or 4 videos every week. So we so appreciate you guys. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.